Hello, hello, my friends. Long time no see. Yes, I have not sat down to film a video in, I think, at least 2 months. So we might be in for a little bit of a bumpy ride. I hope you don't mind, and I hope you'll stick with me anyways. Today, I wanted to share with you just a very quick, small Bath & Body Works haul. I did a little bit of retail therapy last week. I went into my closest Bath & Body Works, which is about 30 minutes away. And I just thought that I would share with you guys what I decided to pick up. I will give you guys a little bit of a life update at the very end of this video. I do have reasons for why I have taken a little bit of a hiatus during the last few months, but if you are curious to know what has been going on in my life, I will share that with you at the very end of this video. But if not, you just want to see what I got, let's go ahead and dive into it. So, like I said, last week I went into my local store. They had a buy two, get two on candles. I had a 20% coupon. They had some men's care sales going on. And then I decided to go ahead and I'm feeling some fall vibes. I'm not quite ready to go full bore into fall, but I'm feeling the itch to start building things up for when I am ready to start using them. So yeah, let's just go ahead and show you what I picked up. So some of the more minor things, I actually like their little car fragrance, what are they called? The scent portables. I do use those in my vehicle, and two fragrances that are my favorite to have in there during the fall season are Sweater Weather. I will say that this is my #1 scent. The funny thing is that I don't like Sweater Weather in the candle format. Something about it is just too pungent for me, and I'm sure that has to do with the oils that they use, but I don't like Sweater Weather in candle form, but I love it in my car. And then of course I also love Leaves. I feel like Leaves is such a classic fragrance at Bath & Body Works. I know for some people it's headache inducing, but it's like a staple for me every year. So I picked up those scent portables. I think those were on sale like 3 for $11. I think I got 2 Sweater Weather, just because if you were to ask me between those two fragrances, which one's my favorite in my vehicle, Sweater Weather wins out. But I picked up 3 of those. I also got some of the Pocket Back hand sanitizers. I think those were on sale like 5 for $6. Maybe they were more than that. I don't know. Like I said, I had the 20% coupon. The ones that I have here in front of me are Warm Vanilla Sugar and In the Stars. I have, I picked up also, I think, Crisp Morning Air and Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin, I think. But my daughters have already claimed those. Like I said, they went back to school. Actually, okay, I got a hair in my mouth there. My kids went back to school. My oldest one went back actually almost 3 weeks ago. She's in high school, but my younger two just started back today. They are in 4th and 6th grade. And so I always like to send them with a little bit of hand sanitizer just because kids are nasty. We all know that. People are nasty, to be quite frank. And I always like to have a couple of Pocket Backs on hand. I also just want to say I apologize for the lighting right now if it's fluctuating. We've got our monsoon season, so we have some thunderheads building. Clouds might be coming in and out, and of course I couldn't find the cord for my ring light. So you guys, I was just happy to sit down and have some time to film today. So this is just what we're getting, and I hope you guys won't be too critical of me for that. I did have a coupon for a free hand lotion, and you're gonna see a little theme here with me. I decided to go ahead and pick up the hand lotion in Coffee and Whiskey. And yes, this is gonna go ahead and gateway into the other products that I picked up. They were having a $5.95 men's care sale, and I decided to pick up Coffee and Whiskey in the body cream. Now, I really like their moisturizing body creams. I know that I have said in the past that I didn't really like these a few years ago, but I do believe that Bath & Body Works took some time and reformulated, because I actually do find their body creams to be very moisturizing. I live in Arizona, a very hot and dry climate, so for me, I need body cream. I can't do lotion. It's just not moisturizing enough for me. Even though I typically don't have dry skin, my voice is a little dry right now. Even though I don't have dry skin because of the climate that I live in, I typically like to use a thicker cream. So the fragrance notes on this are, what does it say? A comforting warm fragrance inspired by delicious sweet coffee with a hint of Irish whiskey. Okay, that's not really any fragrance notes on here. This fragrance, oh my word. I love this scent. There is a sweetness to it. I wouldn't say that it's overly boozy. I know that when you hear the whiskey note in there, like I do have their bourbon fragrance. I have black tie. Those are more, I would say, traditionally masculine fragrances. This one, you guys, I think is beautiful for men or women. This is truly a unisex fragrance in my opinion. I cannot get enough of this. I am finishing up using some of my summer fragrances. It's still 100 degrees outside, so as much as I mentally want to jump into more fall fragrances, just the weather won't cooperate with me, and you guys know I'm pretty seasonal about things. I love this fragrance. Now, not only did I decide to go ahead and get the body cream, but I did pick up the cologne. I think my interest was piqued in this from Mandy Davis, MUA. She loves fragrance and she likes some very bougie fragrances. So it really caught my attention when last year, I believe she put this fragrance in her top 5 fragrances of 2022. I was like, wow, a Bath & Body Works cologne. She loves all sorts of fragrances, but she went on and on about this fragrance. So of course, by the time she was talking about it, Bath & Body Works didn't have it in stock anymore. So when it came back in now, a couple of weeks ago, I want to say, I was like, oh, that's going to be mine. So it was, I think it was $39.95. I had a 20% coupon, which I feel like under $35, that's typically what I would pay for like a Dossier. I'm not your girl who's gonna spend a ton of money on like a high-end fragrance just because I like a variety of them. But oh man, this, oh, I was so glad to have this. So it says the same thing, warm fragrance with a hint of sweetness inspired by the classic combination of coffee and bold Irish whiskey. I wouldn't say that I really smell coffee so much in this, but it is like a very nice fall, winter type of fragrance. There's some warmth to it. I wouldn't say that it's a necessarily overly sexy scent. It's not a very heavy fragrance. To me, and I will get into this when I talk about the candle, so spoiler alert, there's a candle in this line too. There's a fragrance note in there that reminds me of another candle that they have had in their collection, but I will talk about that when I get into the candles. But I was really happy to finally get my hands on this. I did go ahead and decide to get a couple of hand soaps. Now, to be quite honest with you, I smelled quite a few of them, but hand soap, again, I get very nostalgic and I will typically gravitate towards certain scents. And so I picked up 5 hand soaps. I ended up getting 3 of the Crisp Morning Air. Again, this is another fragrance that I think I tried it one year in candle format and I didn't like it in the candle format, but something about washing my hands at the sink like this, I love it, especially in September where I'm just like, oh my goodness, why is it still 100 degrees outside? I am envisioning beautiful fall leaves and all of that. I never see that where I live in Arizona. We don't get the changing of leaves usually until early November. A few years we've gotten it in late October, but it's usually early November before we see any kind of leaf changing. The fragrance notes on this are fresh pine, juniper, and juicy pear. I've come to realize that I do like a lot of pear notes. Juniper, we've got a lot of juniper. About an hour north of where I live, we get a lot of those juniper trees. Oh, I love that. It's just so fresh and clean. It's very, it's not masculine, but it's just a clean, woodsy type of fragrance. I absolutely love it. And then my dental hygienist, Jeff, he recommended this one and I've always picked it up before, but he's like, get in there quickly. In fact, I was getting my teeth cleaned that morning and I told him, I said, I'm going to Bath & Body Works today. He said, get sweet cinnamon pumpkin, because he's like, every time that we shop at the same store, he's like, I feel like they run out of it so early in the season and then they never restock it. So I did go ahead and get 2 more of these. Again, another fragrance that I don't particularly love in candle format, but I like it in the hand soaps. So the fragrance notes on this are harvest pumpkin, spiced clove, and sugar cane. This one has like a cinnamon type of note to it, even though that's not listed in there. I think that's the spice that they use. You do get some of that clove, the pumpkin. I feel like I don't really need to go into detail talking too much about either one of these hand soaps because they are returning favorites. All right, and then candles. They were the buy 2, get 2, and I really went in for a few candles. So, well, 2 fragrances were ones that really appealed to me. So just like I talked about the body care, spoiler alert earlier, coffee and whiskey. Let's see, the fragrance notes that they list here are bold Irish whiskey, splash of vanilla, hint of coffee. So I will say, The coffee note that I get in here, it's kind of the espresso note, or like the coffee note that's in that, was it the pink lavender and espresso? I feel like it's a similar coffee note. This smells like the coffee note from pink lavender and espresso mixed with the vanilla note that they put in vanilla and musk. I get more of like a vanilla in here. Melanie, if you're watching, I actually think that you would like this one, and you might be hesitant because you're seeing that coffee note in there, but I know you love vanilla and musk, and I think that you would like this one. That's what the vanilla smells like in here to me. It's the same vanilla as vanilla and musk to my nose. Now, I actually already have one of these and have been burning it. It burns a little bit sooty, similar to vanilla and musk, which is why I'm thinking that they use the same fragrance blend in this candle. It burns a little bit dirty. It burns hot and fast. I do not need a hurricane for it because it's pretty strong. I would give this one, I would give this fragrance that I have been burning so far this year an 8. It's pretty solid for me. So I decided to go back in and pick up 2 more. I'm contemplating giving one to a friend as a gift because I think that she would really like it. But I did pick up 2 more of those. And then another year-round staple that I have always loved, and I'm actually glad because I feel like the label on this is not very spooky. I personally don't celebrate Halloween. It's not a holiday that's really in line with my personal beliefs. And I'm not saying that like to be judgy or anything. It's just not one that I really like to have going on. Now, I did place a Halloween candle order with some labels that are not too terribly spooky. You'll be seeing that later on in a couple of other videos. But getting back on the rails here, I did pick up pumpkin carving. Now, this is a fragrance, again, that is a returning favorite. I want to say it's probably one of Bath & Body Works' most popular fragrances year after year. Originally, I think that this fragrance was actually called like Pumpkin Patch because I remember getting this scent probably 6 or 7 years ago, and I think it was called Pumpkin Patch at that time. You guys let me know. Some of you are more familiar with Bath & Body Works history, and you guys can chime in the comments down below, but oh, I love this fragrance. Freshly carved pumpkin, spiced pumpkin seeds, smooth brown sugar. You do get kind of that brown sugar note in here, but this is like a spiced pumpkin scent. If you like Yankee spiced pumpkin, I think that you would like this one. I feel like this is a good pumpkin scent that is just like a staple in my fall lineup. Every year I like it. It blends well with a lot of other fragrances. You could mix it with a vanilla. You could even probably burn this with like Marshmallow Fireside, and it would probably create a really beautiful, warm, warm aesthetic. Oh, I love that fragrance. This is honestly probably, this one, Autumn, which I haven't seen Autumn this year in my stores, and Leaves are probably, if you were to ask me my top 3 favorite Bath & Body Works fall fragrances, that would be it. And then I decided to go ahead and pick up another candle that I actually really like it for myself, but I think I'm going to gift this one to a friend because I know that she likes fragrances like this. This is Leather and Brandy. So the fragrance notes are warm leather, amber woods, and aged brandy on this one. Now, the color is really pretty too. It's like a very deep Merlot type of color. Now, this is what I would describe as like a traditionally masculine fragrance on cold sniff. It reminds me a little bit of, I have mahogany and coconut in there. And not that it's the same as mahogany and coconut, but it's that very deep, rich, very cologne-y type of fragrance. I don't really detect any kind of brandy in this right now on cold sniff, but we all know that when we light a candle up that it can completely transform. This is a very nice fragrance. Like I said, I bought this as a gift for my friend because she loves fragrances like this. So that's it. I didn't go too hog wild last week. I kept myself in check. I did pick up 2 of the coffee and whiskey body creams just because they were on sale for $5.95. Plus I had the 20% coupon, and I just know that I love that fragrance. And like I said, I bought multiples of the hand soaps. So let me know in the comment box down below, what is your very favorite Bath & Body Works fall fragrance? I would be very curious to know. I always like to know what you guys enjoy. And now I will go ahead and give you guys just a little bit of a life update. So the reason why I haven't been filming for a long time was mainly because my children were home from school over summer break. You can see that I film here in my living room. I don't have a huge home where I have a separate setup to film YouTube videos. And so while my children are home, they live here. Got a little bit noisy, got a little bit crazy. Also in the summertime, our schedule becomes a little bit more, I want to say, fly by the seat of our pants. We get invited over to swim with friends, or my kids had camp, or we were just doing a lot of things that put more spontaneity into our schedule. And so it was harder for me to nail down an actual set schedule to be able to film. So predominantly that was why I was on a break. If you guys saw my community tab, or if you're following me over on Instagram, you also saw that I had something very unexpected and very sad happen last month. My father very suddenly and unexpectedly passed away. And it was very hard. I think I'm gonna be able to get through this without crying. But it was very unexpected. In fact, I spoke to him 3 times the day that he had passed away. I'm very thankful that it was a very quick and sudden thing. There was no suffering, but it was just very unexpected. And I've been through the grief process before. I lost my mother 6 years ago to cancer. And while grief, everybody processes grief very differently. Dominique Saxe, I know, actually just lost her mother, and she has a really good video about grief, but people handle it very differently. And so even though I'm familiar with the grief process, having lost my mom, I also lost my first child. My first child was stillborn 2 days before I gave birth to her. I hope this isn't a trigger for anybody. I probably should have put in that warning at the beginning. Where I'm going with this is that I am very familiar with the grief process. And once again, here it is. It's a visitor again. It's not a roommate. And I, in a weird way, was comforted knowing that, like, how I was feeling in that first week. I knew that I wouldn't feel that way forever. But grief is sneaky. It comes up very unexpectedly sometimes, like a crashing wave. And some days are good days and other days are not so much. But what I wanted to say was, first and foremost, thank you so very, very much to all of you who reached out to me over on Instagram, or even just commented when I posted that on my community page. I really want to say thank you so much for your kind thoughts, prayers. They really do mean a lot. I think that oftentimes people are afraid to say anything to somebody who's grieving, and oftentimes just saying, I'm so sorry for your loss, really goes a long way. My dad was, oh my goodness, I always said he was a Viking of a man, which that was actually his heritage. He was 6.5 feet tall. He loved to dance. He was jovial. He was joyful. And he is deeply, deeply missed. He lived 5 minutes away from me. After he retired, he moved here and was very involved in my life. Never intrusive, but very involved. And I miss him very, very much. But I never preached to anybody, but my faith is still very, very strong. I have never hidden the fact that I am a Christian, and that has honestly been what has gotten me through this. My relationship with Jesus it's still strong. He's still been so good. There's still been so many blessings in the midst of all of this. And, you know, like I said, I'm not preaching to anybody, but it also is something that I would be remiss to leave that out of how I am handling this process. And I always want people to know that here at my channel, and just me individually, my life goal is for people to always see him in me first. That is always my goal. And whether or not you share my beliefs or not, I always want you to see that I actually live out and walk out what I say that I believe. And so in grief, I feel like, as crazy as it sounds, people are watching and people are seeing, and that doesn't mean that I don't cry or that I have to fake anything. I'm not, you guys. I have had many, many deep, sorrowful cries. In fact, I think for 2 weeks, my face was just puffy from all of the tears. But in that, I also have had a lot of laughter and joy and gratitude and been able to see a lot of blessings. So that's just my little life update. I am doing well for the circumstances. I'm familiar with how this process goes, but just on the whole, wanted to say thank you so much to all of you who just reached out in kindness. I genuinely do appreciate it. So coming up on my channel here, I do plan to film a video telling you about what I've been burning in the month of August, because this is kind of a weird month. It's kind of transitionary. I know for me personally, I've been over all of the summer fruity fragrances, but I'm not quite yet ready to jump into all of the apple and pumpkin. So I'd love to share with you guys what I have been burning this month, because it's been a hodgepodge of things, I feel like. I also do have some Homeworks candles to share with you. During this time, I have received some PR from them, and I've also purchased. I did participate in some Christmas and July specials over at QVC. So I do want to share some new candles I have with you there. I also have some candles from Kringle in my fall collection. And that video will be kind of funny. You'll see what happened. I actually, even though I am a Kringle ambassador, did not receive the fall collection in PR, but I did go ahead and purchase some of the fall collection. And I also have some other fall favorites from them that are not new releases, so I thought those would be fun to share with you guys. So let's see. Also, if you're here with me for beauty content, I do have a couple of beauty products that I have on the way to me that I would love to share with you. So I'm just getting back into the swing of things, you guys, and I feel like my channel might be a little bit haul heavy the next few videos, just because quite frankly, those are pretty easy for me to film. They don't require a whole lot of mental space for me right now, but I feel like you guys probably like hauls anyways. So enough of my rambling. I want to say thank you so much for spending your time here with me today. Feel free to hit that subscribe button if you are new. I like to talk about a lot of home fragrance, and I sprinkle in a little bit of beauty here and there. So if that sounds like content you want to stick around with me for, feel free to hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And you guys know the drill. Until my next video, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.